एक ऐसा role after MBA where the work is really interesting, there is learning opportunity and growth like consulting, there is good money like consulting, and at the same time, the work life is better compared to consulting and finance. This is the product management role after MBA, one of the fastest growing fields, a lot in demand, and there's a lot of confusion around this role as well. Do you need particularly tech knowledge around this, or do you not need tech knowledge? So, in this video, I'm going to discuss everything around this. What exactly do product managers do? Who are the candidates preferred for this kind of a role? What does the selection process look like? What are the resources that you can use to prepare for this kind of role? What does the work life look like? What does the salary look like? At the same time, which are the companies offering these kind of roles? So what exactly do product managers do? Think about it this way. There's a technology team sitting in the company, and then there are consumers. These consumers can be individuals or businesses. So basically the product managers act as the bridge between the technology team and the consumers. For the technology team, it might be difficult to understand in business point of view what are the kind of features required, and for consumer, they might know their needs, but it is very difficult for them to translate them into products. So that is where the product managers come handy. So a product manager's role starts with analyzing the needs of the consumer, and by analyzing the competition to understand what exactly is happening. Then they would translate those needs into product features, put them in a PRD. Every product manager would be familiar with that particular term, PRD, or product requirements document. Then they would send that PRD to the tech team to understand how much time it can take to build that kind of a product. And once everything is set, they set that in a particular timeline and also act as project managers for building the product. Basically, they track the sprints to make sure everything is on time, everything is running smoothly. And after that, once they build the product, once they roll out the product, they are also responsible for collecting feedback and tracking the performance of that product. Next, let's come to the kind of candidates preferred or the kind of skill sets required to get into this kind of a role. Here, definitely there's a lot of discussion that technology people are preferred in this kind of role, people who have tech knowledge. While it's not entirely true, it's not completely false as well. Yes, a little bit of tech knowledge can definitely help, but I will give you a lot of scenarios where you can enter without tech knowledge and can do well in this kind of a role as well. So here, I will basically cover two scenarios. With MBA, if you are going to product management, the path will be very different. Without MBA, I will also tell you how you can get into these kind of roles. So if you want to get into product management after MBA, then if you have work experience before your MBA, that definitely helps to get this kind of a role on the campus itself. Basically, the role required is project management as well. So they prefer candidates who have some kind of corporate experience, especially if you have experience in software engineering or as a product analyst, then certainly your chances to get into these kind of roles will be very, very high. So these companies usually come during the lateral process. Lateral is basically a placement process where only people with work experience are allowed to sit. So there are very limited companies who come during this period. During the laterals, only people with more than 18 months or 20 months of work experience can sit for these kind of companies. And mostly these are the product management companies only. Most of the other kind of roles are open for everyone. So they prefer to come during the final placement process. Most of the product management companies prefer to come during the laterals. But obviously without work experience as well, you can get into these kind of companies. For example, they are open for everyone during the summer internship process. So you can get into a summer internship process, get into one of these companies, get a PPO even without work experience. If you manage to do it, you can get into product management roles. And also there are some case competitions organized in every college. If you manage to win these case competitions, you will get a chance to get an interview with these kind of companies. And if you can clear that, irrespective whether you have work experience or you do not have work experience, you can get into these kind of companies. So some of the case competitions that you should be aware of include the Amazon Ace Challenge. This is a very popular case competition to get into product management roles into Amazon. A very popular company for this kind of a role, offers very high packages as well. After that, there is the Microsoft PM Challenge as well that you can try during your campus days. A lot of my friends entered Microsoft using this particular challenge, so I particularly know about this. After that, there's a Flipkart Grid Challenge for getting into product management roles into Flipkart. There are a lot of domains under this particular challenge, but you have to apply for the Flipkart Grid product management profile. So you can enter into Flipkart as well. Again, a very reputed company for product management. After that, there's a Sprinkler case competition as well that comes. Sprinkler, again, a very reputed company for product management. And if you want to get into this role without an MBA, then you have to get through your work experience. So either you can have a software engineering work profile, you can very easily get into this role, or you have a product analyst profile. That's the perfect predecessor to a product management role. Basically, for product management, you would need MBA degrees and so on. But to get into product analyst, even if you show that you have interest in products, if you can show that you can solve unstructured problems, if you have done certain courses, which might not be very reputed courses from reputed colleges, but might be online courses as well, you can get into product analyst roles. And once you work 3 or 4 years as a product analyst, after that you can get into product management roles. Now coming to the selection process for both product managers and product analyst roles. Here, if the first stage obviously will be your CV shortlisting. So here the keywords come in very handy for these kind of roles. If you can show that you have interest in problem solving, critical thinking, or you have interest in data, or you have interest in technology, maybe you know how to use SQL, Python, or certain coding languages as well, then those kind of things definitely help. Skills in UI, UX, these will also definitely help. Definitely tech is one thing that is not required, like not absolutely necessary. If you can just show that you have that problem solving skill, critical thinking skill, and you can manage data, analyze data really well, those are the kind of skills that are required at least for the product analyst stages. So once your CV is shortlisted, comes the case interview round. This case interview round is mandatory for all product management roles. Basically, here your critical thinking ability and problem solving skills are tested. You might be given a particular product and asked to critically analyze it, understand what are the gaps in the product, what are the mistakes that product is doing, and how you can improve that product if you were the product manager. So all things around that can be included. I will definitely tell you the resources how you can prepare for these kind of interviews. Or the case can be around different things as well. It can be a very unstructured problem, just as in consulting you are given any kind of case. It can be that kind of a case interview as well. The purpose is to just test your problem solving skills. After that comes the tech round, or you are directly taken to the HR round. Tech round is something which is optional, does not happen in all the product management companies. And if it happens, you can be asked very specific questions as well, like coding certain algorithms around it, or you can be asked about general technology trends in the market as well. After that, the HR round is obviously mandatory. The tech round might be optional. Certain product management companies might include it in the process. HR round is mandatory. After that, the offer letter is rolled out. So now I'll come to the resources that you can use for your preparation. But before I go there, let me tell you, if you want to pursue MBA in product management or any general MBA as well, especially online MBA, then obviously you need to be aware of the universities that are government approved to make sure that they are credible. And there's a particular website that will help you in this particular search, who are also the partners of this video, and that is College Vidya. And there's a great news at the moment, because there's a new feature rolled out on the website called the College Vidya subsidy, where you can get a subsidy of up to 10,000 rupees once you take admission in any university. And now let's explore the website. So if you go to the website, there are various UG, PG and other online courses. You can select the course that you want, fill up some basic details, and then answer a few questions. The AI model will then accordingly list the suitable online universities for you. You get two options here. If you want, you can directly talk to actual university officials, or you can connect with College Vidya experts for free audio video career counseling as well. These counselors will stay connected with you from the start of admission till your placement. With Add to Compare, you can easily compare the universities you like based on 30 plus important factors like fees, approvals, placement, student rating, EMI, facilities, etc. A good benefit with College Vidya is, for the fees, they also give you EMI options even if the university doesn't. The best part is College Vidya redirects you to authentic university website, which prevents you from the fake ones and possible scams. College Vidya also has jobs and internship portal, which is accessible to students from day one of admission. Through this portal, you can directly apply to thousands of jobs and paid internship. Overall, it's a one-stop solution for you. I will drop the link in the description and in the pinned comment. You can check it out from there. So now coming to the resources that you can use for your preparation, there are certain books that you can definitely use. My batchmates who were interested in product management roles, they had used this. So there's this one book, Decode and Conquer, which is a very, very important book that you must prepare from. After that, there's Cracking PM Interview that you can use. After that, there's Tech Simplify. So these three books will be very, very handy. After that, there are certain YouTube channels as well. One of them is PM Exercises. That is also really good. And another one is Exponent. And a lot of product managers, especially in top tier B schools, follow this channel. So these two channels, PM Exercises and Exponent. And after that, we come to a very important topic, and that is the salary and growth in product management. So starting with tier 1 MBA colleges, here the component of CTC can be huge because of ESOP components. So the CTC can be around 45, 50, 60, even 70 lakh. I've seen certain companies, but there's a huge ESOP pool as well. Usually the fixed salary will be somewhere between 25 to 30 lakh. The variable with variable and everything, it will go up to 35 and 40 lakh. And then after that, there would be an ESOP pool. Consultants also earn around this amount only. The fixed salary, the variable salary is almost similar. Definitely for product managers in the starting days, there's an ESOP pool that increases the CTC. And from the tier 2 MBA colleges, I've seen Microsoft offering 15 to 20 lakh packages. There's not much ESOP component into this. In case there are ESOP components, that might be separate arrangement, but mostly between 15 to 18, you will see this range from tier 2 and tier 3 MBA colleges. But from certain tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, you might enter into product analyst roles as well. So for the same company might come for product analyst as well as product management roles. 15 to 18 will be the salary if you're hired for product management roles, and usually people with 1 or 2 years of experience, 2 years at least experience, are taken into this kind of a role. Product analysts will have a salary of around 10 to 12 lakh, but yes, people who are freshers can enter into this kind of role and then gradually transition to product management roles. But the main thing why product management is now preferred is because consulting was preferred for the growth opportunities. The initial salary might have been similar for consulting, but the growth opportunities in consulting was huge. The kind of hike that was offered on promotion, that was very big for MBB kind of firms. In product management as well, because of the demand, the growth can be absolutely huge, because you can switch across different companies and that switch can happen really really fast, because the similar kind of skills are required across different companies, and all of these companies now require product managers for their tech products. Everyone is moving towards tech and they require product managers. That's why you can do a lot of switches very fast, and the hike that you can get per switch can be 30%, 40% on your fixed salary. So that can definitely bring a lot of growth. And some of the big companies offering these kind of roles, especially reputed product management roles, include Microsoft, Sprinkler, Adobe, Amazon, Flipkart, InfoEdge, Uber, and literally every company that you see definitely needs product managers. Even Tata, Reliance, Adani, they need product managers because everyone is moving towards tech, and now they need these kind of product managers to handle their tech products. And despite the growth opportunities being massive, even after that, the work life is really, really good, especially because you're not dealing with external clients. Most of the clients are internal only. You are managing your internal team. That's why work life is much better. Definitely, in most of the reputed companies offering very high salary to IM graduates, they would expect some kind of work from you. So, definitely, they would expect like 8 hours, 10 hours, or 12 hours of work, maybe sometimes as well. But obviously, your weekends will be free. 10 hours is still acceptable. Consulting definitely can go up to 12, 14, even 15 hours every day on an average. So definitely that way product management is definitely much much better in terms of work life. That's why you see a lot of consultants who later switch to product management when they want to bring a little bit of work life balance in their schedule. Also add to it the traveling part of it. So if someone prefers less traveling, then definitely product management is a preferred role, because traveling is limited. 2 or 3 days maybe of work from office, rest of them can be work from home as well. So work from home opportunities also exist in this role. That's why it's very preferred. But as I said, everything cannot be so rosy in a particular field. Obviously there are certain challenges, and let's discuss some of the points why you might not like product management role. First big point is around delegation or being dependent on someone else for your work. Because if you need to get a product out, if you need to build a product, you have to rely on the tech team. You cannot do it on your own, unlike consulting, where you might decide to do a lot of things on your own as well. Obviously, it's a team effort as well, but there you can still do a lot of things individually. Here, most of the product managers will not know how to code really well. That's why they have to rely on the timeline of the tech team to deliver products to the consumers. And obviously you have to be very good at delegation as well, because you have to manage a lot of stakeholders in this process. There's an entire tech team to manage, there's a UI UX team to manage, there are consumers to manage. So you have to be really good at delegation as well. If you do not like that, probably you will hate this role. Second, your work might get a bit saturated at the end. You might be responsible for building an exciting product, but once you build that, obviously maintenance will also be your responsibility. So there would be certain operational tasks as well that you need to take care of. Obviously it can vary from one company to the other, from one product to the other, but if you are managing the same product from a very long time, you might start feeling a bit saturated. That's why I've seen a lot of product managers switching companies in 2 3 years. Obviously it helps them with the salary as well, but there's another major reason behind this, and that's saturation. So this is what I wanted to cover around product management, everything around that, the pros, cons, salary, work life, everything I've covered in this particular video. Hope this would have given you a lot of clarity, and I keep making such videos on this particular channel around different roles around MBA. Recently I made a video on the roles after MBA in finance. If you're interested in that particular video as well, you can see that on the screen, and मैं आपसे वहां मिलता हूं.